Yo, what is up? It's your main man, Cordsy, and today we have another video. I'm going to be putting some headers in. But first, I edited the last video, and man, one thing I was missing was energy. So I'm going to try and put as much energy towards this. I'm going to try to put as much energy as if I just got done at a shift at Freddy Fazbear's and it's 6 a.m., all right? I'm going to try and give that amount of energy. Oh my God! Oh, I did it! Ah! I did it! All right, so you guys, sorry for making you watch that, by the way, but you guys, you read the title, you know what this is. I'm selling some equal length headers, and to be honest with you, I don't even really know if these are equal length. I read the description, they said equal length, but you're telling me that this pipe is the same length as this, and there's not a whole lot of depth difference, to be honest with you, between those two. Maybe they are, and maybe I'm just, talking with no experience, but they don't look equal length. I guess we're gonna see how it sounds in the end. I'm not gonna be posting any sound clip of before, because the reason I'm doing this is because it has an exhaust leak from the header. So I do kind of want to talk about that. Another thing I was disappointed about, there's two O2 sensor bungs, whatever they're called, right? It came with just one of these, one plug, and there's two of them, and this is an OBD1 car. There wasn't anything in those from the factory. So there should have been two, and it shows two on the site. I don't know if that was some sort of a mix-up. By the way, I got this off eBay. It's, I believe it was Benson Tuning was the name of the place. But I went on Amazon. I bought two. Figured I'd get two because I couldn't find any that were really like the hex with the flange. I'm sure they're out there. I probably didn't look very hard, but I figured I'd get the ones with the Allen key style ones, a little bit more flush, and get the copper washers. That was a really cool touch that I wanted to add anyways, get a little bit better sealing. So I'm gonna throw these on there. I'm gonna throw them on the car, and I'm gonna tell you what I did to the car beforehand, and I've probably been out of frame half this time because I'm so freaking tall. But I'll put these on off camera and then show you what I've done with the car then, all right? Okay, I got the plugs in, and I promised I was gonna show you what I've done in here, but I figured I might wanna show why it'd be good to buy something like this, even if it isn't true equal length, which I'm not sure if it is or not. I really don't think it is. Maybe it is, I don't know. I haven't welded up a pair of headers, so I don't know. I'm not a genius when it comes to this, but here is the old header, and manifolds, same thing basically, but I'm convinced that this thing is just built specifically to fail. Like, you can't tell me that there's 24 pieces of hardware, 24 studs that goes through the entire top and clamps the top on, and then on the bottom you get these stupid press fit studs. And these press fit studs aren't really any bigger than the holes that these go through. So this manifold heats up, if this heats up quicker than this, eventually this is gonna work its way right out of there. So they almost made it so the manifold was the thing that goes bad. It's exceptional clamping force onto the head, but you can't keep studs in it. And they put lock washers on the bottom, which act as springs. So it's inching its way out, a little bit at a time. And every time you do a bolt check and you tighten that, well, you're just making it worse, because then it's just gonna, do the same thing and pull that stud out even more. So I did try taking this out and putting it in the other one just to see if I could throw it in there, but I should probably mention that. But different threads, by the way, which is great. Yeah, these things are they seem to be engineered to fail, which I don't understand. Definitely isn't the way I would make it, but how BMW did it, so. But when we switch to these, you'll notice we have holes and we have room for a bolt. So you're gonna have to go out and buy hardware if you don't have these already. These didn't come with any hardware at all. It barely even came with one, didn't even come with enough O2 sensor plugs. So it wasn't coming with the extra hardware to bolt it to the rest of the system. And these shorties, I like the shorties. I was tempted to go with the long tube, but you have to cut into the OEM system, and I might do some changing with that. I kind of want to go with the ISR system at some point. So I didn't want to go long tube. I wanted to keep it short tube, keep it somewhat factory. But these, you slide a bolt through it, you put a nut on it, no stud, no press fit, none of that. It's just there. So that's one great reason to buy this. Another reason is this when you change things in the exhaust system, right, most of it's just going to make it louder. This changes the whole aura. You have different runners here, and each runner converges here, and that, you can put a different muffler on, and that kind of like changes the note. This changes the whole symphony. It completely changes the way that your car sounds and how it sounds. You can make a car sound, like an F1 car. You can make it sound like that Subaru over there with UELs. This I can't because it's a 6-cylinder. That's a 4-cylinder. You get the idea. You can change, immensely what the aura of your car is just by changing these. So let me get back into what I've done. And what I've done is I've taken out all of the studs, retapped all of these holes, M7 by 1.0, I believe it is. I put in the Race German extended studs. I don't think I would buy those again if I was doing this, because some of them don't clear the manifold. You'll actually, those of you keen on your eye might have noticed that some of them are missing, like those three right there. I have 3 missing in the middle of the front one, 3 missing in the middle of the rear one, and I actually bought some M7 by 1.0 bolts that I'm going to put into it. And the reason being is because there just isn't any room. There's no way I'm going to be able to get nuts into those, So, wow, I can't even get the camera in there. But there's no way I'm going to be able to do that, right? You can't see it from this side, and you certainly can't really get in there. There's no way that I'm going to be able to get a stud through that. I don't know. The OEM one might be a little closer than these, but I really don't think that it's that possible to do it that way. But if you're taking the headers off, might as well redo the studs. They're a pain to take out. People say you have to double nut them. I wouldn't say you have to double nut them. I say you have to triple nut them, because they came off really, really hard. It took a while. There's 24 of them. Then afterwards, you retap them. If you're putting new studs in, just finger tight. These ones specifically, they come with a little lip on them. So you screw them into the lip, then you just put your little, I took my tool apart, but you put a, it's an E-Torx. I can't remember what size it is. They say it on their website. I think it's like E-Torx 9 millimeters. I can't remember. You put that on, and you just snug it up, It's aluminum head, so you don't want to over tighten it. You will strip the threads right out. So if you're doing this, be careful, take your time. I'm glad that I have 2 vehicles now, because I can daily that and then take my time on this, that's it's very nice. So, but anyways, I guess I got to get those in. I got to get the M7 bolts through those holes first of all, and then I guess I'll drop them in, and I'm gonna see if the nuts fit on this, because when I tested them outside, it didn't. So I might have to retap all the nuts. If I do that, I might throw up a time lapse. But, oh yeah, I bought all new nuts too, which is great because I bought 24 and ended up not using 6 of the studs and 6 of the nuts. So I will have spares, which is nice though. Yeah, I'm kind of stalling now, so I guess I better get to it, and let's let's just see if a nut threads onto there. Okay, so I just threaded one on. It stopped at about 3/4 of the way on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna retap. Well, I shouldn't say retap. I'm gonna chase all of them. I'm not gonna do any back threading because it binds up for so little. It only really has like 2 or 3 turns by the time it goes through anyways. So I might as well just run them all through. I'm gonna set up a time lapse. The one that I rethreaded, that fits on perfectly. So I don't know if it's something with the race German studs or not, or if it's something with these, which I forget the name. I basically just found the cheapest aftermarket ones. They were from a like reputable looking place though. I forget. I think I bought them off like Euro Tuning or something. It's like CS or I don't freaking remember. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to retap all of them. I was really hoping I'd be able to use my AN vice chuck and just throw them in the vice, but that ain't gonna work. These are just the hole's too big. It just slips right in the middle. So just gonna be using the vice, chasing these threads. I'm gonna leave 6 just in case it's a heat thing. And then, so I have my spares and they're not, I don't molest those 6. I just do all the rest and then throw them in. So hopefully that'll be good. Yeah, so I guess time to set up the time lapse. Okay, so as you saw in the time lapse, got all those things, all those nuts tapped. I got a nice stack of nuts.
What did he say?
Put these stack of nuts. Take all the nuts out individually. Put them on my headers. Actually, I'm probably gonna put the bolts through the headers just to make sure I can actually put them through where I need to. Put the head gasket on. Also, can you tell that I have something for blue 2.5 liter NA cars with tilt sunroofs? I don't know what it is. I can't escape them. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to throw that on. Throw the head gasket on, which I have. I keep saying head gasket. It ain't a head gasket. The exhaust manifold gasket. Bleh. Yeah, we're going to throw that on. And then, yeah, we're going to see if I can get this on. Don't want to over torque these at all. I have no idea what the torque spec is. I'm going to go with good and snug because I know it doesn't take much to strip out aluminum. So we're going to go with just good and snug. And that's going to be the torque spec for me. So yeah, let's get to it. Real quick, actually, I figured I'd go over the hardware that I went out and bought myself, specifically to bolt it to the actual head. I went out to Ace Hardware. These are, well, it might be Ace Hardware. My local hardware store, it's between Ace Hardware and Aubuchon now. So the bag says Ace. I believe the aisles, it still says Ace. The receipt says Aubuchon. So no idea what store I went to, but I went to the local hardware store and picked up these. They're M7 by 1.0. These are M7 by 25. I assume the length is 25 millimeter probably since it's metric. Then I also got a 5/16 lock washer. This is bronze. I was trying to get copper, but they didn't really have any. They had copper washers, but they were huge. But you can only find those in the US section for whatever reason in my local one. Dig around, you'll find something. You might have to mix and match between a couple different drawers, but get a nice setup. I would recommend using some sort of a lock washer. It doesn't have to be bronze or copper, but it's preferable because figured, the nuts are copper. This might as well be something like that. So, yeah. I would recommend getting some sort of lock washer though, because you're only going to want to put this like just snug. You're not going to want to over torque this. It is an aluminum head. You will strip out the threads and you'll be so disappointed and you'll have to either go up a size or just, it'll be it's a headache. Don't do it. Just try not to do it. It's awful, trust me. You don't want to retap all these holes. That sucks. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can get these in the headers and see if I can get the headers in the car as well as the gasket. Probably put the gasket on first. Helps to do it in that order. Throw the gasket on. Yeah, you'll see me in the next clip probably. We'll probably be on by then. Well, boys, I already experienced the first roadblock. Haven't even gotten the first header in, which I'm doing the rear one first because it's going to be more of a pain in the butt to actually reach everything. So I figured to do that one first, but one of the studs, one of the bolts that I ordered, you actually have to grind away a lot of the bolt in order to get it in. I don't even know if this is going to thread in, but yeah, bringing this to the hardware store will probably help you out a bit. But I got it in. Maybe it might turn a couple threads in. That'd be very nice. It'd be nice to have all the hardware in, but I don't really know if that's going to happen or not. So I'm going to try and throw this in. By the way, if you do decide to buy hardware without putting the header in, and then you get home and you realize that it's the wrong size, here's what you do. You take a die, right? You put that on the bolts so that the open end is facing the actual end that you're grinding on. And then you can take the die off. When you take the die off, it rethreads it. And that's the only way you can restore threads. If you grind a bolt without doing that, you're never going to get those threads to line up. You're never going to get it to match. Even if you try to retap it, they're not going to line up. So like that's the only way to reshape hardware. You know, grinding, it's sculpting with metal. So I think there's a lot of, sculptors, they don't have tight tolerances. Threads, they have tight tolerances. So you got to rethread it afterwards. You got to make sure that die is on there before you start. So if you do it my way, remember to do that. Can try and put this header in, and I'll give you an update. It's getting kind of late. I might have to go to work, so this might be a 2-day project. But hopefully it'll be in by the end of the week at least. I think it's Wednesday now. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Hopefully it'll be in by Friday. All right, guys, this is the next day. I got the rear one on. Let me show you what I did in a second. But first, I kind of want to preface, what I did. I'm missing one bolt. I just couldn't get that one bolt in. I might have been able to do it if the engine was out of the car, but it's in the car, and I'm not going to pull the engine over just doing that one bolt. But I mean, 11 out of 12, it's not bad, and I'm not really concerned about it because of how thick these manifolds are. This is like half an inch, which I'm pretty sure is actually thicker than the stock one. Yeah, it's about the same. The stock one has these weird divots in it, so I'm not as concerned about it. If you're curious, it was the one next to the short one. So it wasn't even the short one that was giving me issues. It was the one next to it. Just kept falling out, and I couldn't do anything about it. The short one, though, I did put it in, and it got tighter, and then it started feeling a little looser. Sorry about that. Started feeling a little bit looser, so I stopped. So hopefully that'll be all right. But there is a chance that might just pull itself out of the engine because I might have stripped it just enough. There's not that many threads on it either, so it doesn't have that far to come out, sadly. I did take the washer off it, though. I'll show you guys in a second. Alrighty, guys. So, oh, jeez. There. Sorry, I was hitting stuff off it here. But as you can see, you got those two on. The two on top. That one hole in the bottom, and then the one small bolt. Then we got all 4 of those on, and all 2 of those on. And I still got to do down there. I'm going to do both of them at the same time, because you can kind of move the I think you call it it's the center pipe. Yeah, so I still got to do that. But other than that, it's looking good. It's going to be a nice view looking down in, too. Nice little stainless steel runners. So that's going to be really, really cool, which is another reason to buy this, just because, You open the engine bay, you see this, you're like, wow, like that's cool. So now it's just onto the front one. Oh, that's what I did earlier, if anyone was wondering. Onto the front one and then under the car and see if I can get it bolted up. The front runner is now on. That one is a lot easier. There is one thing that I need to share with you though, or else you're gonna have a bad time like I did. So let me just show you that real quick. But as you can see, all of them are on, those 3 bolts plus that stud, and those 2. So this is the end of the manifold right now where the front one kind of goes into the back one. If we go over one, you'll see that bolt to the left there. I don't think I can point that easy. Well, I can, but it destroys your light. That one there, or not the bolt, but the stud and nut. The nut has to be on the stud before you tighten everything down because there's not enough clearance right in there for you to be able to get the nut on. So if you're doing this, make sure you do that. This will require a lot of like tight fingers and, you know, just a little bit at a time getting at it type thing. But yeah, other than that, you know, went in all right. Now I just need to get the bolts in the bottom, bolt it up to the rest of the exhaust, and maybe I'll give you a sound bite at some point. But right now the car is dead because the battery is dead. And oh, my neighbors actually aren't home, so maybe I should charge that and actually start it up. All right, guys, it is a new day and I got everything in place. Neighbors still aren't home. Doing stuff right before work, it kind of sucks. Sorry, this is taking 3 days to do some headers, but yeah, it's in there. It looks amazing, and I'm hoping it's going to sound amazing. It's on the battery charger now. I got to get it off. I got to clean up a bit, get it off jack stands, just because I don't want it on jack stands running. Yeah, and then we can start it and see how it sounds. Before I do that, though, let me show you how this looks. This looks awesome. Just awesome. Oh, I forgot to mention, this car is AC deleted. Well, the AC didn't work before because some components were missing from it. I went ahead and deleted the pump down here, the stupid reservoir thing in here, the lines that went through here. I put the delete plate in there, and I got rid of the line that goes back into that corner there. This thing's also missing too, the little shroud thing. I have it, but I just don't really care to put it in. I might make a shelf thing for the wiring harness so it's not just sitting there. But anyways, no, this video is about having all this out of here makes this a whole lot easier. It might be very hard, if not impossible for some of you guys in order to get these in. For me, it's just super easy because I'm missing all of everything on the left side of the engine bay is essentially gone. So it gives me plenty of room to work here. So if your AC unit doesn't work anyways, I mean, heck, I guess you should just delete that and then put some headers in. It'll make the header install nice and easy. But yeah, I need to get to cleaning now. Yeah, I don't know what was here before, but they grinded it off. Sorry, I just noticed random things. I'm like, ooh, shiny, shiny. Yeah, let's get this thing cleaned up. Get it on the ground, and yeah, maybe I'll do a time lapse of me putting it on the ground because it's kind of funny. I don't have a low profile jack. Sweet, see you in the next video. All right, guys, as you saw, I got the car on the ground. I got some stuff cleaned up around the shop, made it nice. You know, I kind of just moving stuff back and forth, to be honest with you. But I got a cleaner on the back for the next shop, and I put a fan. Wow, that's really light blown up. But I got a fan in the window to try to get out some exhaust fumes. I might also open, you know, one or two of the, both of these doors maybe. Actually, I might as well open the little door too. So yeah, I guess that means it's time for the first start census, and I'm debating if I should put in an exhaust clip from somebody else, but it's gonna be on a different camera, like a different microphone and all that. So it's not gonna be a one-to-one comparison if I did. So I don't know if I should really, because it might just, difference in the mic might make you think that this sounds better than the other one, or the other one sounds better than this one, which this should sound better than a stock system. Just saying, but yeah, so I guess I'll get that set up and we'll see if it starts. It's been on the charger. See my cable running out of it. I feel like a weatherman. I can do this pretty well, actually. Lost career opportunity, maybe. But yeah, yeah, time for the first start since this thing has pulled in the garage here, which is very exciting. She might still be a bit dead, so bear with her. We'll see if she starts on the first try. Getting lights inside. That's nice. Battery's been there for a while. Come on. Yeah, boy, she's dead. No first start yet. Give it a minute, I guess. Just so you guys know, so you're not, blaming the car for it not charging quickly, or, the battery or whatever. It's a good car, but I'm working with some old technology here for the battery charger. It's a nice little unit, but kind of got to sit here next to it because you never know. This was put in, this was made before safety features were invented, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. I'll get an updated one at some point, but it's still working. It's also kind of annoying. I can't have the trunk latch because the battery's in the trunk, and there's a freaking light for the trunk. So, yeah, this thing takes a lot longer to charge than most other cars just because of that. Just slightly annoying. I should just unplug that light because I'm never going to use this at night probably. Well, I don't know. It might be good to have, actually. Put some tires back here. All right. We'll see when it's charged. All right. This is the last shot before I got to get ready and go to work. Let's see if this thing starts up. Oh, man. Oh, she ain't happening today. She ain't happening today. Oh, that sucks. Guess I gotta go bring my fan back inside. I hope I can get it started before the end of the video. I really do. Also, don't mind my plate. This isn't real. Well, it is real. It's an old plate. It's an old plate from my grandfather's. But this thing ain't commercial. It looks way too legit though from most angles. This color is. Oh, I thought I just locked the freaking trunk with the battery charger one. This color is literally almost exactly the same as the car. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get one of these plates because I'm gonna register this as historical at some point. But it'd be really cool to have like basically the same exact blue almost. Like you can't tell me that's a different blue. That's the same blue. It's just so perfect. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out over this, but I've never actually seen a plate like match really well. Yeah, even this is a darker shade, but it still matches as like the darker tones of this hearts. It's so dirty, but that matches the darker tones of this, and this matches the lighter tones of it too. So that's pretty freaking cool in my opinion. But just one more day. This exhaust is taking forever. Well, now it's just the car won't start, but I'll get there. Don't worry about it. I'll get there. All right, guys. I had the BMW on the charger by accident. Also got a haircut. I need to shave my beard still. But left it on the charger by accident. So might as well see if it starts. It's been on there all day. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Sounds pretty good, actually. I don't know what you guys hear. I hear some of the engine more than the exhaust. Pretty dang good. I'm gonna open the garage door just so there's some ventilation in here. Neighbor's home. What time is it? It's 55 now. I'll give it a couple minutes to warm up, and then I'll give it some revs. I don't know if I should rev it anymore. Well, I haven't revved it at all yet, but it sounds like there's a slight knock. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I don't know. I guess I rev it and see if it goes away as I'm revving it. Because it might just be a little bit of valve chatter. Which still isn't ideal. It just lost an idle a little bit, but it didn't stall itself out. So I don't think it's too bad. I'll give you guys at least a little bit of revs. I don't want to give it limiter. But it's warmed up now and it's still making the chatter. I was hoping it was just cold chatter, but I'm not so sure anymore. So we'll find out. Alrighty. Oh wow, my phone suddenly became uncropped. Well, it seems to be alright. When I rev it, it goes away for a little bit and then it goes back to an idle. And then it starts making the noise again, so don't know how that looked on camera, but I think it'll be okay. I might want to look into that a little bit though. Is my door shut all the way? Yeah, it did. And I'm going to unplug it now that it's ran a while. So, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe. Hoping that there's no bad news with that one. But anyways, see you guys in the next video.